Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Monday, April 26, 2021 meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit District. Welcome, everyone, and clerk, if you please call the roll.
Director Budge,
Here.
Director Harris,
Here.
Director Howell, Director Hume,
Here.
Director Jennings,
Here.
Director Kennedy,
Here.
Director Natoli,
Here.
Director Chenier,
Here.
Director Cerna,
Here.
Director Valenzuela.
Here.
I'll go back. Director Howell. I do not see. And Chair Miller.
Here.
With that, we have a quorum at 91 votes. This meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit District will be cablecast on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on Comcast, Consolidated Communications, and AT&T Uverse. Today's meeting will air on Saturday, May 1st at 2 p.m. and replayed on Thursday, May 6th at 6 p.m. on Channel 14 and webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. It is also closed captioned. Chair Miller.
Thank you, Cindy. Would everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And if everybody remember to mute your microphones, I'd appreciate it. And Clerk Brooks, would you please call the next item?
Next item is the consent calendar, items 2 through 1 through 2.6, and I have public comment on item 2.2.
Do any board members wish to pull any items? Hearing none, could you please read the public comment, the item and the comment? Cindy, please.
Yes. The item is approving a cost-sharing agreement for operation of Smart Ride service within the County of Sacramento, County Service Area Number 10, Benefit Zone Number 3. And the comment is from Mike Barnbaum. I don't have any concerns regarding the financial terms presented in the agenda item or the map of the two mentioned Smart Ride zones. My questions and concerns are regarding the operational aspects of the service and matters that would make sense to refer to the Internal Service Efficiency Review Committee in developing the next short-range transit plan. 1. Would the expanded Gerber zone include any light rail stations, despite the fact that it was already brought to my attention that the new Elk Grove zone initially will not? Number 2. What would need to happen for any of these two particular zones to expand their weekday operations to the hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., matching another two existing zones? Finally, I would like to close my comments with a motion and direction to staff. I would move to approve the item before the board this evening and directing staff to provide the Internal Service Efficiency Review Committee analysis in the development of the short-range transit plan, the goals of weekday smart ride service hours for all zones being 5 a.m. to 10 p.m., and introducing weekend and holiday service from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., with final recommendations from this committee to be presented to the board at a later date. These service improvement goals would improve the mobility of the general public throughout the SAC-RT service area and are worthwhile transportation investment. And Ms. Laura Ham provided a response to Mr. Barnbaum. It says, thank you for your comment. The new Gerber zone will continue to serve CRC Light Rail Station. The hours of service will remain 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., consistent with available funding to support the service. However, we will take into consideration in the short-range transit plan the comments about expanded hours and weekend holiday service. And then Mr. Barnbaum replied again to Ms. Ham, but I will not read that. You have it in your board packages because it exceeds the 250-word limit for his public comment.
Thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Mike, for your comments, and Laura for responding. With that, I'd entertain a motion for the consent calendar.
Move approval.
Hume, second.
Motion by Director Budge, seconded by Director Hume. Cindy, would you please call the roll?
Director Budge,
Yes.
Director Harris,
Aye.
Director Howell, Director Hume,
Aye.
Director Jennings,
Aye.
Director Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Natoli,
Aye.
Director Chenier,
Aye.
Director Cerna,
Aye.
Director Valenzuela,
Yes.
Chair Miller,
Aye.
and I did not see Director Howell join in at this time. With that, the motion carries at 91 vote for the consent calendar.
Thank you. Moving on to the next item.
The next item is public addresses the board on matters not on the agenda. And I have two comments on public addresses the board. The first is from Mike Birnbaum. At its April monthly meeting, the YCTD board approved the YOLO Go Comprehensive Operational Analysis Project. Detailed service changes, including but not limited to those that would impact downtown and the airport, were outlined in the document, will be brought back as public hearings at future board meetings. Their next 7 p.m. meeting is May 10th via Zoom. The Capitol Corridor Board met back on April 21st. Meeting highlights included adoption of a revised business plan, presentation of a planned service improvement on June 7th that would bring service to 22 weekday trains and 18 weekend trains, along with full restoration of service to and from San Jose. The final highlight included a July 1st transfer of throughway bus service along US 50 east of the Sacramento station from Amtrak directly to El Dorado Transit. The June 16th meeting is either virtually or in Tucson City. A 5:30 p.m. Zoom meeting will be held on May 3rd for anyone interested in learning about the preliminary fiscal year 2022 operating and capital budgets that presented virtually at the May 10th board meeting. More detailed information is now available on the homepage of the SACRT website. At 9 a.m. on Friday, May 21st, the San Joaquin JPA will hold a virtual board meeting on the to-go meeting platform that will cover formal adoption of their revised business plan, as well as potential summer 2021 service increase of one round trip that would fully restore all Valley Rail service to and from Oakland. The next public comment is from Donald Childs. Route 75 currently travels north on Data Drive, turns south on Capitol Center Drive on its return trip to International Drive and Matherfield Mills Light Rail Station. Extending Route 75 to continue east on Data Drive, turn south onto Zinfandel Drive, then turning right again onto International Drive westbound would connect thousands of residents living along Data Drive to Capitol Village dining and shopping opportunities, improve access to Gold Line for Capitol Village and BDX residents by connecting to a second light rail station, and expanded hours to reach Gold Line above the service level offered by routes 175, 176, 177, and Smart Ride. It also offers greater connectivity to commuters to the area. This extension would restore service to a small segment of the former Route 74 service area. The Smart Ride zone in Rancho Cordova extends ends at Sunrise Light Rail Station along Folsom Boulevard, the furthest east it travels south of Highway 50. Several fitness and team sports businesses like the Swim Institute, Technique Gymnastics, Granite Arch Climbing Center, All World Ball Academy, Raggio Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu operate in the Sacramento Sportsplex at 11327 to 11347 Folsom Boulevard, just east of the current service area. Expanding Smart Ride to this area will significantly improve transit access for low-income student athletes who participate at these facilities, as well as add connectivity for sports tourism for guests of nearby motels in Rancho Cordova. Please consider expanding Route 75 to Zinfandel Drive and Smart Rides coverage area to include the Sacramento Sportsplex in Rancho Cordova. And Ms. Ham responded to Mr. Childs. You have a copy in your board packages of that response. And that concludes public comment for matters not on the agenda.
Thank you. And with
So,
that, we can move on.
Mr.
Go
Chair.
ahead.
Yeah, so I just would comment, as Henry and the planning staff know, Donald Childs about a year ago really started looking at the two routes in Rancho Cordova and seeing how they could better serve people. And I appreciate his very well thought out comments today, and then Laura's response. So it sounds like they were very productive for staff. So thank you.
Good. Thank you for adding that, Linda. And with that, we can move on to new business, please.
New business, item 7.1, resolution approving the temporary appointment of future retired annuitant Cindy Brooks, presented by Shelly Valentin.
Good evening, Chair Miller and board members. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. So Cindy Brooks served as a SACRT employee for over 30 decades. Oh, sorry, over 3 decades. That's not possible, right? But 30 years, 23 years of which was as clerk to the board. And I had the privilege of working closely with Cindy these last few years as her manager, and I experienced firsthand her diligence, her outstanding customer service, and her dedication to SACRT. The clerk to the board is a single incumbent position. As Cindy fondly calls it, it's the department of me, myself, and I. Cindy coordinates all of our board meetings. She supports the board and the GM, serves as SACRT's record keeper, and so much more. She has been a constant and reliable presence for so many of us at SACRT, and her successor will have very large shoes to fill. Thankfully, Cindy has graciously agreed to work for a limited time for SACRT under a personal services contract after her retirement. Having this contract ensures a smooth transition as we recruit for her replacement and train and allow us to continue to tap into her wealth of institutional knowledge. Because of PEPRA rules, public agency retirees should wait 180 days after retirement before returning to work for the same agency, unless the governing board determines it is necessary to bring back the employee right away to fill a critically needed position. We are respectfully asking the board to approve staff's determination that Cindy will be filling a critically needed position and that we execute a personal services contract with Cindy Brooks immediately after her retirement date of June 1st, 2021. Thank you, and on behalf of all of us here at SACRT, we just want to thank Cindy for her decades of outstanding service, and we wish her all the best in her upcoming retirement. And we're looking forward to continuing to work with her.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
I'd like to move the item.
Second,
Who was the second?
Budge.
Okay.
And
Motion
Chair Miller,
by-
I'm sorry, I have 2 public comments.
Okay. Well, we have a motion by Director Cerna, seconded by Director Budge. Any questions and comments from board members? If not, Cindy, do we have public comments?
Yes, sir. We have two.
I knew that.
The first is from Mike Birnbaum. In my years of being a transit advocate and community ambassador of public transportation, I can't think of a finer public servant than the Honorable Cindy Brooks. Cindy has been yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I hear an echo. Cindy has been employed by the Sacramento Regional Transit District for 30 plus years and as clerk to the board for over 20 years. In my direct working and communication with Cindy over the years, Cindy has provided outstanding customer service that is paramount in delivering what the district offers to both riders and non-riders alike. During the time period in which all board meetings have been virtual, Cindy has read every public comment within the 250-word limit that has been received in, at, or before 2:00 p.m. on the day of said meeting, and has had phone and or text conversations with folks that are interested in topics in the public transportation industry. Cindy has assisted with the filling out of speaker cards and has been outstanding in her career in public transportation. Without further hesitation or objection, I make the motion to adopt the staff recommendations before the board this evening and resoundingly look forward to retaining the services of the Honorable Cindy Brooks at a minimum in the 2-year time frame that has been outlined by the Honorable Shelly Valentin, presented in item 7.1 before everyone. And the second comment is from Barbara Stanton for Riderships for the Masses. We congratulate Cindy on her pending retirement from clerk of the SAC-RT board. As most of you know, we hold Cindy in high regard by awarding her our Top Banana Award in 2018. That being said, Cindy is the person who will help the new person execute a smooth transition, not only to the clerk of the board position, but will with the other tasks she has been assigned. We urge you to approve this item, Barbara Stanton.
Okay, any further comments and questions from board members? If not,
I'd like to know if Cindy wrote those.
No, Director Kennedy, I did not pat myself on the back.
Hey, it's good to be loved, Cindy.
I love you all.
all right, with the top banana, please call the roll.
Director Budge.
Yes.
Director Harris.
Aye.
Director Howell. Director Hume.
Aye.
Director Jennings.
As much as I hate the fact that we may be losing you, I have to vote yes for this.
Thank you, Director Jennings. Director Kennedy.
Aye.
Director Natoli.
Aye.
Director Chenier.
Is it not a conflict if she's recording the votes? I'll vote. I will enthusiastically vote aye.
Thank you, Director Chenier. Director Cerna.
Without objection, aye.
Director Valenzuela.
Yes.
And Chair Miller.
Aye, and if we could have Price Waterhouse tabulate the count, I'd appreciate it.
Motion carries at 91 votes, and Price Waterhouse is now on your screen. And I didn't do that. Adam did that. Motion carries at 91 votes. With that, Chair Miller, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay. Next item, please, Cindy.
Next item is item 8.1, the General Manager's Report. Mr. Lee?
Yes, good evening, Chair Miller, board members, and the public. I would first like to take a second to acknowledge our board clerk, Cindy, and we're excited she will move on to the next chapter of her life with her upcoming retirement. But knowing that we cannot lose the extensive knowledge that she has from years of the outstanding public service. And the board action tonight ensures she won't be going too far and will help facilitate a smooth transition to our next her successor. Thanks for the vote. Allow me to begin my remarks by offering congratulations tonight to Sacramento's marketing and planning departments on receiving another award. I'm delighted to inform everyone that we have received the American Planning Association Sacramento Valley Section 2021 Award of Merit in Public Outreach. The award acknowledges our extensive public outreach campaign and implementation of our Sacramento Forward bus route network redesign effort. Sacramento team had extensive conversations throughout our county's many neighborhoods and designed a network that is more robust and was prepared for the pandemic. In fact, the outreach team had more than 17,000 face-to-face interactions with riders and others in the 3 months leading up to bus network launch. The APA, American Planning Association, will be honoring award recipients as the upcoming virtual awards ceremony in July. Congratulations to all involved with the Sacramento Forward project, as it was truly an extraordinary team effort, community partners, board, staff, all working together. And especially, congratulations to planning team led by James Boyd and the marketing team led by Jessica Gonzalez. Then I would like to also congratulate the tireless work of our operations team in helping connect our communities with vaccine locations. In addition to the free rides system-wide to and from vaccine appointments, we have worked closely with community partners to eliminate transportation barriers for the most vulnerable in our community. This includes adding additional service for special vaccine pop-up locations and working with community partners to ensure access to appointments. Then, the next topic I would like to update is to let everyone know that our next Monday, May 3rd at 5:30 p.m., Sacramento will host a Zoom virtual public meeting to help answer questions and receive public comment in preparation for our fiscal year 2022 preliminary operating and capital budget, the hearing on Monday, May 10th. We present this to the board last time, and which is a balanced budget. Public feedback is an important part of this process, and the Sacramento is providing several opportunities for interested persons and organizations to make their views known with respect to social, economic, and environmental aspects of these projects. We plan to request the board to adopt the final budget and the FTA program of projects at the Sacramento board meeting scheduled for Monday, June 14th. And I hope the public will participate and provide feedback. And for more information, visit our website at sacramento.com. All of this information has been translated in 6 different languages to ensure everyone has the opportunity to provide comments. I also want to just thank our financing team, led by our CFO and the entire Sacramento team, management team and staff for working so smoothly and efficiently to ensure our annual budget process has such smooth, productive process. In the last 3 years, our budget process has been very smooth, thanks to board guidance and community partners' support. And normally, one of the most challenging tasks or projects for any transit agencies is always budget process, contentious, difficult, and very challenging. But for us, because we are building a sustainable and building a robust financial health, the process has been extremely smooth. And I have, before I joined SACRT, I had more than 8 years CFO experience. Prior to that, about 10 years budget and financial management experience, and worked for about 5 different transit agencies, some as big as the top 2 transit agencies, the top 2 out of 10 top transit agencies. And the budget process was always so difficult, but for us, it's just so smooth. I cannot thank board and staff for making the process so smooth and efficient. Then at our last board meeting earlier this month, I provided an update on 2 major projects, light rail modernization program and water IT station renovation. Today, I want to provide an update on 2 more projects. One is the Right Free RT, another one is the Morrison Creek light rail station. In terms of Right Free RT, we made national headlines when we became the first transit agency in the nation to allow students and youth in grades K through 12 to ride for free system-wide anytime. In fact, we're the only agency doing that right now, out of 10,000, more than 2,000 transit agencies across the country. As we have shared with the board in the past, the results were tremendous, with 127% student ridership increase just 5 months into the program. The study released by the University of Texas a couple months ago, which evaluates the Right Free RT program, found the innovative program achieved multiple key goals to increase transit ridership and school attendance. Of course, the pandemic shifted schools to distance learning, but as school districts began to reopen and return to the classroom, SACRT is ready to meet the needs of the region's students. We have been monitoring school reopenings closely and have relaunched our 200 series of bus routes that collected and specifically designed for many of the region's schools. We actually add some more this time. We're also excited to see the program grow in July when the annexation agreement for transit services with the city of Elk Grove takes effect a couple weeks ago, thanks to the great teamwork between the staff, SACRT staff and Elk Grove staff and the SACRT board and the Elk Grove City Council. We are provided partners with a digital toolkit to help spread the words for the Right Free program. The toolkit includes a flyer with multiple languages, up to 8 different languages, rack cards with multiple languages, social media graphics, and Texas photos and logos. Of course, we're very thankful for the cities that make up this board for your funding contribution to make this program a success. And a special thanks to Council Member Jay Schneer for his tireless work on this program from the beginning. And he kind of like a godfather of this project from the beginning. We're committed to finding ways to make the Right Free RT program permanent and this is a tremendous next step. We're also looking at other fare-free or discounted fare programs for low income and other vulnerable to help with our region's social equity, inclusion, and ambitious climate goals. Staff are working very diligently and extensively in the last couple weeks to locate the feasibility and locate the potential steps to make other fare-free programs, especially for low income, in the near future. Once our study, our analysis is done, we're going to present to the board, and we expect to implement that very quickly, because one of our strongest strengths is the execution, swift execution. Once we have a good analysis, once we get a board approval, then we can immediately implement that very effective way. Then the second project update is Morrison Creek Library Station. As you know, Sacramento opened our South Line Phase 2 extension in 2015, a 4.3-mile extension of the Blue Line from Meadowville Road south to Consumnes River College. The project includes 4 new library stations, although the Morrison Creek Station construction was deferred until the surrounding neighborhood began to be developed. Morrison Creek Library Station will serve the Delta Shores development, which is over 900 acres and will eventually contain over 5,200 residential units and 1.3 million square feet of retails. Construction of the station is actively taking place. Shelters and landscaping will be installed, as well as light pathway to the station, which will be a pedestrian walk-on station only. This is very unique because other stations will have parkings, and this station will be a pedestrian walk-on station only. Construction is expected to be complete at the end of June, and the station is expected to open this September as a walk-on station. And we are working with FTA very closely, trying to close the entire project, Blue Line Extension Phase 2 ASAP. And hopefully soon, in the next couple of years, we can start the South Line Extension Phase 3, which is extended to the city of Elk That will take some tremendous effort to make that happen, but that is our goal. This Saturday, volunteers, including Sacramento staff, participate in a citywide garbage cleanup effort to celebrate Earth Day holiday. One of the volunteer sites was the Morrison Creek, an important spot of the Sacramento River. Sacramento provides the free rides for volunteers of the 2021 Earth Day cleanup event, and I'm glad we could assist in cleaning up the creek and the vicinity near our future station. We're excited to complete this project and know the station will be a cornerstone for future development in the neighborhood. And this very much concludes my remark portion, but I want to ask Shelly to share with the board on the research we did in terms of the request from some public about the on-site board meeting in the future. Shelly, can you, share your comment or research analysis?
Sure. Thank you, Henry. So we just want to let you know that the RT has this business recovery plan that outlines all the specific steps we plan to take for a safe transition back to normal operations, and we continue to follow and modify it according to local, state, and federal guidance. From our meeting for the board meeting last time, we did additional research and look at other options for facilities available to us outside, knowing that our biggest limitation is the space at our current facility and the boardroom size. Unfortunately, after reaching out to the city and the county for the availability of their chambers, they are not able to accommodate us because there's already a conflict during our meeting time. But we are continuing to explore other options as far as other facilities we may lease or options that's available for us to be able to conduct our meetings in the boardroom if we have to. In addition to that, we're also looking at what best practices from others and also just opportunities to expand public participation in the event that we have to move out of the virtual meeting that we are currently conducting.
Thank you, Shelly. Go back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Henry. Great report tonight. Shelly, thank you for looking into that. This may all resolve itself by June 15th. We'll have to see. And I've said it before, if I'm going to make a mistake, I'd rather make it on the side of safety and not rush things or spend too much money trying to get open. Although I can't wait to be open. I'm tired of WebEx, Zoom, meetings, virtual, everything. So I'm ready. Now, is there any questions from my board members on from Henry or Shelly?
I have one, Chair.
Go ahead, Katie.
It's kind of related to the budget, but it might also be beyond the budget, Henry. And so apologize if this is too much of a new curveball, but I'm wondering if SAC-RT's ever done a workforce diversity and salary trend analysis. I'm just curious, like we've learned so much at the city from doing that type of analysis, looking at gender and race, ethnicity, and just salary levels of staff and where they're at. And I'm wondering if RT's ever done anything like that. It kind of gets to where we spend our money on our people, who are our most important asset as an agency. So just curious if that's ever come up in the context of budget or otherwise, or if that's something we could look into doing.
Without going to the details, we regularly check, with our peers and with industry-wide and local, partner agencies doing those type of diversity study. We can share some details with you, later on.
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah, and I think what we did at the city was really look at like a lot of intersecting like salary levels and who's at what levels and how do we, promote diversity within our ranks. And I don't know, Cindy leaving us has just inspired me to think about how we be intentional about building leadership within the agency. And so yeah, I'd love to follow up with that with you, Henry.
Definitely, we shared with public a copy of the key status. Our staff, 70% of staff are, minority, and which we exceed the community, demographic ratio, and certainly our executive team members, our structure, 70%, 74% of female, and more than 50% are minority, and so we exceed the racial and gender equity goals. The tough goal this industry has been struggling is the mechanicals in terms of ratio, and especially female, because mechanicals are men dominate, career. But we have been trying to work with technical schools and others to get the female students and try to, attract them into our system. And but in terms of pay, there will be no disparity between female and male minority and non-minority. Those are the compliance requirement from the federal and state and the local governments. So that is not the issue. And, so that's very much some facts I want to use this opportunity to share with the board.
Awesome. Thanks. I look forward to that discussion. I think we found our own blind spots, and I'm not saying that there's anything at RT. I just think it's always good to ask the question and collect the data and make sure we're doing what we can to recruit folks in and promote leadership across our ranks. So thank you, Henry. I look forward to that.
Sure.
Thank you. Any other questions and comments? Not seeing any. Cindy, next item, please.
The next item is reports, ideas, and questions from directors, if any.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Cerna.
Thank you. I just wanted to publicly thank Henry for joining me and Councilmember Laloe. Last week, we I thought had a very good site visit and discussion about the potential of taking some of RT's land assets, namely parking lots that aren't being used anywhere near capacity, and possibly using that for one of the sites that the city is exploring in terms of the complement of triage centers to serve homeless folks. And this would be intended to really target the folks that are either camping in tents or living in RVs and vehicles along Roseville Road. Unfortunately, there's no shortage of people that are suffering out there. So Henry was very quick to affirm the availability of staff resources to really have an understanding of what our options are. And I think now we're looking at next steps. And it's certainly in the district I represent. It just happens to be in the city, but I also do want to thank in absentia Councilmember Laloe as well for his leadership on the subject. Thank you.
Very good. Any other comments from board members? I had one last item. I did notice that I can't see Pat Hume, and I don't know if his piano was designated an alternate, but this may cause a controversy on our voting. Patrick, are you there?
The piano is not in the background today.
Oh.
I'm actually facing the other way. The piano
Okay.
would be over there.
Okay, controversy over. And if there, Cindy, is there any other items for us to consider tonight?
I do not have anything else, Chair Miller.
Well, then we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Short and sweet. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.